All right, we want to keep moving on our board meeting here. And I have time. Boy, it's amazing how fast my days go. I don't even do anything all day. I I guess it's just because you get old, so the days just rush by. I get up at noon, and the next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock, and then I'm getting ready for bed about 11, and in bed by midnight, and the days are just flying by, man. It's not much longer for me on this planet.
Financial challenges right now. So,
all right, let's hear Mr. Canadian. Let's see what bullshit he's slinging.
I think so. So stay tuned.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the homeless Wapato jail turned homeless shelter.
Alan, I'm going to assume you're the point person on this. I see a thumb going up. So we will have probably our point person, Tom Mills, who probably doesn't know this yet, but he's now by this is going to be reaching out to you. So so stay tuned and let's see what's possible.
Tom Mills.
And thank you for your support.
Your Trimet.
Any of the board members, Trimet board members have any comments or thoughts here before we say goodbye to everybody?
Yes, I do. President Warner.
Ozzy.
This is Ozzy, and I'm thrilled. I just want to acknowledge, first of all, having...
Ozzy wanted to be mayor of Portland. He didn't get shit for votes. They all want to be big shots, man. All of them, okay? That's why they go on this board, because they want to be stepping stones. At least some of them.
This part of the Trimet jurisdiction within the district, I'm always excited when we get to expand services and bring opportunities to meet critical needs in the region. So,
Ozzy, are you not paying attention or are you deaf? Didn't you just hear what they said? They just said you're not providing enough service to make it of any value at all. Didn't you just hear that? Or what are you in another world? Or are you just going to pull the old Stoval? We're great, and everything we do is great, and we're all great, and we're just great.
First of all, hats off to everybody involved on both sides of this, from Trimet,
great, we're great, we're all great,
senators, to the folks at the Hope Center, Alan and the team that have helped partner to pull this off. I think some of the messages you're hearing today about how we ensure to build on this and communicate to the region out there that there is better service, that we can better learn how to better serve the needs of the workforce out there and the folks that are going to be leveraging all of the services and benefits at the Bybee Lakes Hope Center. I think this is a great opportunity to really do better. And so I think it's a fantastic day to celebrate a partnership that's helping meet critical needs in our community, enhance the role of public transit in the region. And in the end, it shows what we can do when we're working together across agencies and between public agencies and community partners to do this work. So hats off to everyone. And I'm thrilled to hear that we've got to this point. So thanks for giving the floor, President Warner. I just wanted to share the enthusiasm for this.
Good. Thank you, Ozzy. Appreciate it. I don't see any other hands raised. Was there any other board members want to make a comment or a question? I guess not.
I'm not part of the board, but I before we do depart, there's one little piece I would like to mention before us business people leave the meeting. There's a lot of jobs, people losing their jobs throughout the city and the state and everything. One thing I can say is that within our sector, there's a lot of job growth. And my hopes is that with increased channels to be able to get people to our facilities out here along Reed Drive, we can hopefully help offset some of that. I know grocery stores and a lot of retail locations, again, are losing their ability to employ people. So our hopes is that, not only will we increase ridership for people at the Bybee Lakes Hope Center, but as well increase the employment opportunities for people along the Marine Drive stretch as well.
Great. Thank you again. Okay, with that, I'm going to close the public forum, and again, thank you all. You're welcome to listen into the rest of our board meeting if you want, see what we do, but I'm going to move on now, and I'm going to actually call to order the regular business meeting of the Trimet Board of Directors for Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. And moving on to the first items are the board reports. And I'm going to call on Director Bauman to give us a report on the Committee on Accessible Transportation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Yes, I have the report on the most recent CAT meeting. That was on November 18th. Just want to report on a couple of items that came up at that meeting. One is the committee continues to discuss the accessible parking arrangements at the new park and ride planned for the Gateway Transit Center, and they approved in the end the arrangement of van accessible spaces. There was a report to the CAT from Lieutenant Brett Laser of the Transit Police, and he answered questions and he assured the CAT members that transit police operations won't be impacted when Portland Police leave the task force.
You hear that? You hear that? Stop. Do you hear that? There's been no cuts to transit police. She just said it. There will be no change in the transit police. They just changed jurisdictions. They didn't change anything. She just said it.
You may recall I've reported in the past that CAT members have expressed concern about the dangers presented by e-scooters, specifically blocking sidewalk access, blocking bus stop access, etc. Representatives of PBOT at the meeting gave a presentation on the city's second e-scooter pilot program. They said it was a great success from the points of view of equity and safety.
Equity.
They said that in 2019, individuals...
Equity. It's hilarious to listen to them talk about equity when there's no fucking equity. There is no equity, but they keep talking about it like, we'll just keep talking, saying it over and over, and eventually people will believe it. That's the Hitler method of... Hitler knew these things. You just say something over and over. The public, being as dumb as rocks, as we can see around us, will believe it.
Rented e-scooters more than a million for more than 1 million trips, and 6 companies offered scooters for rent during that period. So that was all positive. Finally, at the meeting, General Manager Doug Kelsey attended and provided an update on a number of issues and answered questions about issues such as mask enforcement and social distancing on transit, both of which are a significant issue of concern for CAT members, and I know that the members appreciated hearing from Doug on those issues.
Yeah,
and that is the report.
Thank you. Questions or comments for Director Bauman?
No.
I'm seeing none, so thank you very much for your report. I'll move on to the second report, which is the Finance and Audit Committee report. Director Stoval.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning to fellow board members and staff and everybody that's here watching, our riders and stakeholders. So we covered 2 items on the Finance and Audit Committee this morning.
Stop.
The very first.
Listen to this. This Donald Trump circus just gets funnier by the minute. President Donald Trump discussed making Sidney Powell, who as a lawyer for his campaign team, unleashed a series of conspiracy theories about a Venezuelan plot to rig the voting machine. Make it end. Is this ever going to stall? Oh, my God. Why not? Look, Trump, you're still in office. Do what your supporters say. Declare martial law and declare yourself president for life. Do it. You're right there. You got all these great supporters, then do it. Let's see how that works out. Do it, you chicken shit motherfucker, with your fucking brain dead cultists.
First item was an update on kind of the budget and performance in comparison to what was kind of outlined and forecasted, and kind of what's going on with the pandemic. We continue to see, of course, as you can imagine, softening of revenues, specifically passenger revenues. We have seen some positives based on some other revenues that we receive that are ahead of what the projections have been based on kind of some of the updated projections based on COVID and the pandemic that's going on. But again, we continue to see some of the challenges that are coming forward, which
all of these economic hardships are not the pandemic. It's government policy regarding the coronavirus has created all of this mess. It's the government's response to it. Okay, this is a new world order. This is COVID world order. This is all intentional. These people are not trying to save us. You know that, right? They don't care about us at all. This is a nefarious thing that's happening to maintain control of the world population. And I'm not saying COVID isn't real, because it's definitely real. But the response has been to destroy the citizenry of the world, and that's intentional.
I believe the board in general will be receiving an update here relatively soon, most likely in January or sometimes within that time frame, that just gives kind of a broader update of what's going on. We actually have seen an improvement as we look forward into the future of roughly about 21 million of where we thought we were going to be. But we're still seeing a pretty significant deficit over the next 5 years, even based on kind of a recovery that's being forecasted and projected starting in the latter part of 2022 for ridership and ridership revenues. Of course, there are continuing ongoing conversations, as everybody is probably attuned to, in regards to federal stimulus that's both targeted at individuals, organizations, both state and local governments, and then also there's a transit component of that. So there's somewhat wait and see, but we also know that we still have a significant deficit over the next 5 years that we have to continue to be concerned about and look at based on the pandemic and based on the projected recovery. The second item we covered was a brief update on kind of the labor update and where the labor negotiations are, and specifically some of the financial impacts of some of the parts of the negotiations that are going on in regards to, again, the current labor negotiations, and some timing efforts in regards to being able to get those negotiations through to completion. So those are the two major items that we talked to, actually the two only items we talked about at the Finance and Audit Committee this morning. And I am completely open for any questions, and both President Warner and Director
Are these two ever going to leave the board? These two, they've been on the board 9 years. Now they're going on 10 years. This is the kind of cronyism that is going on at the Trimet level. The same people for over a decade here.
Are both part of the F&A committee and are available to give any updates that I missed or answer any questions.
Good report, Director Stoval. I would add that the general manager, I think, will go over the finance information in a little bit more detail in his general manager's report. So you'll be able.
This is a criminal enterprise. You understand? Just like Trump. This is a local version of Trump criminal enterprise, and they're all polished and know how to do it in a more polished fashion.
Able to put into perspective the things that Travis just told you. Linda, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No.
I guess not. All right.
No.
So any other questions?
Influence of communist money through Venezuela, Cuba, and likely China, and the interference with our elections here in the United States.
Jesus, how can you stand it? Oh, God. You know, if they didn't have an electoral college created by a bunch of white supremacist oligarchs of 1776, we wouldn't have this problem. But this was created specifically to make sure white supremacy stays ruling the fucking shithole called the United States of America, which is effectively a third world country now.
Questions or comments for Travis? Hearing none, then I'll move on to the Metro Policy Advisory Committee, MPAC. Director Way. Good morning.
Yes. Hi, good morning, everyone. So MPAC's meeting today, which is set for this afternoon is actually canceled. And so we are no longer going to have the last meeting of the year. As I have stated before in a previous board report, MPAC is going through a lot of different reflections, quite frankly, around, the role of the committee, the best way to really highlight the important work and function of a committee like MPAC. So there's a lot of different changes and conversations that are happening in short. There's still a lot of, I think, preparation for what next year can potentially look like and what our involvement can be. But what I can say is the first meeting of the year next year will include nominating a vice chair from Clackamas County as well as a second vice chair from Multnomah County. That will be among the first action items that take place in next year's meeting. So stay tuned. There's a lot. There's a lot happening. Again, with the structure, formation, but I have been really. I think I've enjoyed my time on MPAC this year so far. I really applaud a lot of the Metro staff in particular.
Train 49. Yeah, I'm westbound approaching Goose Hollow. I have a guy smoking weed in my lead car, and he's dancing around. He's high.
Okay, that's good. Pooty.
For moving everything from physical in-person meetings to virtually. Very seamlessly. So I know a lot of us are having to still adjust with a virtual format.
God, you got it made. You don't go to the meetings anymore.
If you have any.
Great. Thank you, Director Way. Any questions or comments about impact or other issues of the Metro?
No.
I'm not seeing any, so thank you very much.
Let's get to
move on into the Transit Equity Advisory Committee, TEAC, Director Gonzalez.
The equity.
Thank you very much, President Warner. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, Ozzy.
You can.
Yeah,
very good. This very short report this time. We have not had a meeting for December and will not have a meeting for December for TEAC.
Oh, good.
So the conversations on my last month's report around reimagining public safety and the different sorts of priorities of our community members will be picked up in our January meeting.
Okay, good. Go away. Okay.
Thank you.
General Manager next, right?
Any questions for Director Gonzalez?
This is a fucking 3 hours and a half.
Thank you. Let's move on to the last formal report, which is the Trimet Crash Advisory Committee update. Is this the first one, Director?
What? Did you hear that? The Trimet Crash Advisory Committee? What is this?
Simmons?
Yes, President Warner, it is. And thank you fellow board members for giving me the opportunity to update you on this new committee. The Trimet Crash Advisory Committee was established by the legislature in 2019. And it convened its first meeting in May 2020. The 7-member committee identifies and reviews certain crashes in an effort to improve public safety, builds on understanding and awareness of the reasons for crashes, and discusses how to avoid future crashes. For the purpose of this committee, a crash is defined as a collision between a bus, light rail, or commuter rail vehicle operated by Trimet employee in public or Trimet right-of-way involving a person or property. Committee members are appointed by the Trimet General Manager for a four-year term and were selected for their diverse backgrounds and expertise. The committee members are myself as the board representative, Scott Kocher, who is an attorney and member of Families of Safe Streets and Oregon Walks, and also serves as the chair of this committee. Chris Strong, who is the Transportation Division Manager and Engineer for the City of Gresham. Hal Hagedorn, the Associate Director for Portland State University Transportation Education Research Center. Jeff Padowski, the Executive Director of the West Side Transportation Allowance, and Peter Coons, the Portland Bureau of Transportation Director of Lights and Signals.
There is one vacant position that will be appointed, and that position will be an advocate for elderly persons and persons with disabilities.
Oh, yeah.
The Crash Advisory Committee meets only biannually to review crashes they select and can make recommendations to the general manager based on that review. The committee members attended a series of orientation sessions this fall on 12 topics to gain broader understanding of Trimet. I might add, that was 6 hours of orientations over 2 meetings. To understand Trimet, state and federal practices, policies, procedures, and reporting requirements. Orientation topics also included Trimet's agency safety plan and safety management system, incident data collection and safety performance dashboard, drug and alcohol policies, vehicle and right-of-way inspections, public education and outreach related to safety, hours of service, and pedestrian safety and hazard management. Committee members also will be asked to operate the bus simulator and tour the operations command center once they're able to meet in person. What was impressive was the extensive review and reporting, both internal and external, that takes place when there is a crash, regardless of the seriousness, although more extensive external reporting and review takes place when the crash involves fatalities, serious injuries, collisions involving a rail transit vehicle, a runaway train, derailment, or where there is an evacuation for life safety reasons. Mm-hmm. Our last meeting was just here in November, or our second meeting, which we reviewed the first series of committee-selected crashes. The committee's given a list of crashes, and the committee members decide which ones they want further information and review of. These crashes were selected from a 6-month block of time, and prior to the meeting, the committee members were provided data collected during the post-crash review, including videos, photos, operator and supervisor reports, state and safety oversight findings. The Trimet Crash Advisory Committee will meet again in spring of 2021 to review the second series of crashes. What? And that concludes my update. Are there any questions?
Yeah, what good is that? What good is that if we don't get to see the crashes? What was this all about? I don't remember this.
I'm not hearing any. That was a really good report, and we'll look forward to some of the future reports as this committee continues to get its legs and work under us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. All right, I've got an item that I'm going to do under the board reports, which is not on the agenda, so please humor me, but it's a resolution dealing with what I consider kind of a bittersweet issue that we were all aware of because following nearly 9 years of service to the board, our organization, the residents of East Multnomah County and the Tri-County region, Director Travis Stoval's tenure as a Trimet board member is coming to a close.
Thank God.
He has tendered his resignation effective today. And as you know, he's served 2 full terms on the board, and his second term actually expired in February of this year, and it's been extended because of the COVID and the work that we need to do. But as we also know, Travis will continue to serve the residents of Gresham, where he is the mayor-elect after winning the race to lead Oregon's 4th largest city by 13 votes. Congratulations, Travis. I think Director Edwards calls you Landslide, and I think that's the nickname that's going to stick with us for you.
Yeah, Landslide.
Travis, we'd like to formalize our appreciation of your tenure with a resolution in your honor, which I'll read right now, and I see it's up on the screen, so thank you. It's a resolution that's entitled Honoring Travis Stoval. Resolution 20-12-43 of the Tri-County Metropolitan Transportation District of Oregon, honoring Travis Stovall for his service as a member of the Trimet Board of Directors.
Good riddance.
It goes on to say, whereas the Tri-County Metropolitan Transit District of Oregon, Trimet, and its Board of Directors wish to honor Travis Stovall for his service on the board.
Goodbye.
And whereas Travis Stovall has served as a member of the Board of Directors since February 20th, 2012, serving all people of the Trimet Transit District, and particularly the communities of East Multnomah County and Gresham, in his own Trimet District 6. And whereas Travis Stovall has served as the Board of Directors Secretary/Treasurer and as its Vice President, and has also served on the Trimet Finance and Audit Committee. And whereas over his long service on Trimet Board and the Finance and Audit Committee, Travis was able to employ his entrepreneurial vision and his extensive financial background, experience, and management skills to help guide Trimet's many financial decisions and, frankly, assist Trimet in obtaining and retaining AAA bond rating from all three of the credit ratings. And whereas Travis Stovall has been a consistent advocate for diversity and equity in all matters presented to the Trimet Board of Directors, and an effective, powerful leader in promoting Trimet's Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, and whereas Travis Stovall has demonstrated exemplary leadership in the board's response to issues of systemic racism, including working collaboratively to help reimagine safety and security on the Trimet system. And whereas Travis Stovall has always encouraged his fellow board members and Trimet senior staff management to think strategically, to innovate, and to, quote, go bold, end quote, when envisioning the future of public mobility in the region. And whereas Travis Stovall has now served on the board of directors with great knowledge, professionalism, dedication, distinction, kindness, and good humor, always demonstrating careful consideration of all points of view. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Trimet Board of Directors and the Trimet staff hereby express their gratitude to Travis Stovall for his generous service, and be it further resolved that a framed copy of this resolution will be presented to Travis Stovall as an expression of our heartfelt respect and appreciation. So what I'd like is somebody to make a motion to approve Resolution 20-12-43.
So moved. It would be an honor.
All right. Is there a second? I see Linda has a second. So with that, discussion of this, I thought I'd give an opportunity to any of the board members who'd like to make a comment in saying goodbye to our fellow board member, Travis Stovall. Who wants to begin?
I would like to begin, if it's okay.
Right. Please.
I just, I really don't like Travis leaving. He has been a stalwart. He's certainly been an example of leadership and bold leadership. And he's been an example of what we've, I think, tried to express as a board and what we're supposed to be about. I just appreciate his leadership. I hope the city of Gresham appreciates what they have now in a mayor. And I just wish you all the best, Travis. I look forward to seeing you going forward, because I know that Gresham is going to, I've heard about some of the things going on there. And I know that you're the person to clean it up and get it back on track the way the city should be operating. So thank you very much for your service to Trimet, to the citizens of the three counties, as well as your service going forward to the citizens of Gresham. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be next. I'm Linda. Bruce?
Yes, please.
Travis, as you know, I have sent a written note of appreciation to you. I've always appreciated the perspective that you bring to the board. there will be somebody on the board that will be able to fill the role, but there won't be anyone with your particular expertise or way of communicating. And I just value the association, value learning from you and listening to your perspective. It broadens my awareness of finance, funding, the organization, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
I see Lori has her hand up.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Travis, I want to just sign on to everything that Linda and Keith said. It's just been an honor to serve with you and really wish you well as mayor of Gresham. I want to say that the people who are going to be really sad about Travis leaving are the auditors, because nobody ever will get as excited about audits as Travis. So that's been awesome, and your willingness to dig into the financial issues is just great. So again, I wish you all the best, Travis.
Thank you.
Great. Anyone else?
Happy to jump
I had
in.
my hand up.
Oh, please.
Oh, I had my
Go
hand
ahead.
up, if it was
Please.
okay. Okay, well,
Oh,
congratulations on becoming Gresham's next mayor. I'll try to keep it brief. I know that you and I at times had varying different perspectives on things, and we even got into some debates that I think on issues that we were both passionate about. But I think the biggest thing that I have learned being on the board so far and serving with you is that we can walk away with respect for one another and respect for each other's perspectives and life experiences and what we bring. So even if we disagreed, even if we, duked it out sometimes over some of these issues, I think we can walk away being collegial and respecting each other. And I hope that this is a lesson that, many other public elected officials can also learn as this political environment just becomes more and more intense and more uncivil. So thank you so much, Travis, and you will definitely be missed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Travis, for your 9 years of service. When I joined the board, what's now turning the corner on 3 years, it was really with a lot of gratitude for walking into an agency that was well received outside in the community. And when I started looking into the organization structurally, it was clear that Trimet has had a pretty strong, solid ground from a financial perspective and from a financial management side. And it's been such a thrill and an honor to be able to serve alongside you, frankly, knowing that you had your sleeves rolled up, you understood that world, you were interested in the fiscal health of the agency, and that you had a set of eyes on it. It's not for anything that it's the auditors that will miss you and the folks from the finance committee that really got to see the thumbprint that you have on the agency, and it's not for nothing, but the effects you had on the agency are going to be helping it for years to come, and we can only hope to maintain that level of enthusiasm and oversight as board members. So you leave literally and figuratively large shoes to fill, and I have literally looked up to you for the last 3 years that I've been serving on the board, and I'm just grateful and honored for Gresham that they have elected you. I know it was a nail biter of a race, and I'm really excited for what's ahead for you and for the city of Gresham. So I'll continue to look up to you from afar.
Thank you.
We've gotten everybody except me. Well, Travis, I guess it's my turn. I want to let you know that it has been my pleasure and my honor to serve with you on the Trimet Board of Directors for almost 9 years now. Travis and I went through the vetting process at the legislature together, and it was fun to learn to just get to know him going through that process. And I want you to know that this board and I will miss your insights, your knowledge, your wisdom that has really helped move this organization forward during your tenure. Kind of along the lines that Linda said, I'm sure that the governor's office is going to provide us with a very competent and, gifted individual to fill your position. But please be aware that I believe that nobody will ever really be able to replace you on this board. You're going to be remembered. So, my friend, we all look forward to working with you in your new role as the mayor of the city of Gresham. And as everybody said, they are really lucky to have you. So congratulations. And please let us know anything we can do to help you be successful in your new role. So with that, what I'd like to do is call the question on the motion to approve resolution 20-12-43. Is there any further comments before I do that? No, then all those in favor of the motion to approve resolution 20-12-43, please signify by saying aye. 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 Any nays? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Did you vote, Travis?
I voted for it.
All right. Very good. Nice to hear that. So, Travis, it's your turn, maybe, since you're moving on to talk with us. And I think I want to let the general manager also say a couple words, too. So, Travis.
All right. Well, go ahead, Doug.
Okay.
Well, I won't pile on more than's already been said, but I'll tell you a couple of things from my perspective, Travis, that I want to congratulate you not only of being the mayor of Gresham, but you're the very first mayor of the new Lake Oswego.
What?
and so I say that with humor because that's what you did here. You inserted humor in your character into serious board matters that help advance this agency, help protect the agency, and helped advance this region's conversation. So your balance and acumen of when to push, when to pull, when to defend, when to represent in so many ways, I think for me, of the 5 years that I've been with this agency, that I will miss is your balance of acumen. And I've always had a personal motto in my life that some of my own team knows. It's called serious fun. We have very serious responsibilities, but we also have to insert humor and fun and keep calibrating the responsibilities that come with a board member. And I think, to me, you epitomize exactly the serious fun as a board member. So you're going to be missed. And on behalf of all the staff who've worked with you over all the years, even beyond myself, and to the previous general manager, Neil McFarland, if he was here, he would be absolutely piling on with me. So a big hearty thank you, Travis. And as I will say to folks today that when I spoke to Travis about this today, that I said, please, now is not the time to introduce a new resolution around allocating funds specifically for Gresham. Today's not that day. So Travis, thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you. For all the comments. Of course, it's humbling, and it's been an honor to serve the folks of the metropolitan area, Trimet. It just starts with this idea and concept of service, and I tell people all the time, if there's anything I do good in life, it's due to the good Lord and my parents. If there's anything I do bad that's undesirable, that's my fault. And so truly, I get to be the compilation of a lot of folks' inputs, great leaders over the years. And this board has been one that has just been a joy. We've met our challenges, but because of the strength of the relationships, the strengths of the mutual respect, we've been able to step through those challenges knowing and being comforted by the fact that those who serve with us shoulder to shoulder are going to be there by our side. And each and every one of you, I've got great respect for. You bring a different perspective, phenomenal comments, thoughts, and ideas that I learn from every single day that we get an opportunity to serve together. And the folks that we've served with before, President Warner, him and I have been, we came on the board together, as he referenced, and it's been a joy, an absolute joy serving under his leadership for this organization. He's been a critical part and component of the guidance of that even, level hand, steady hand for the board and for the agency over the years. And again, I feel so blessed and honored to have the opportunity to serve with both him and everybody on this board. The diversity on the board has been one that I've just relished in because that not just from a diversity of thought, but also a diversity of ethnicity, race, and gender has all been something that has just added to the incredible richness of not just being able to guide this agency and the response that we have around our community, but the richness of just of friendship, of kinship, and the things that I've been able to enjoy being a part of this. And so, with that, I go forward to just hopefully, be able to be a contributor in another role and continue to have a phenomenal relationship with Trimet. And as Doug has already referenced, I will refrain from putting forth any resolutions or anything that says that we'll allocate additional funds to Gresham. Although it's the constraint is and restraint is going to be difficult because as we know, we already face a bit of a budget challenge there as we do here in every place else. But I just can't thank you enough. I'm just a simple boy from Kansas, and the opportunity to serve with incredible folks and leaders like everybody on the board and our staff has just been, again, like I said, an honor and a joy that I will never forget. And again, I take some of the phenomenal things that I've learned with me as we go forth and work with, and again, another capacity within our community. So thank you for all the kind words, and thank you again for giving me the opportunity to serve with you.
Our pleasure. All right, let's move on.
All right, you know how I feel about Stoval, right? Man, this guy was a arch defender of Trimet honor in every situation. He pontificated endlessly. He disagreed with anybody who had any criticism at all about Trimet policies. He was kind of a version of Obama, so he had a black face, but it didn't matter to the minority population. These black faces in high places have been proven to be completely useless to the lower class, not just the lower class black people, but also the lower class white people. They've all turned out to be neoliberal apologists, and that includes him. And I'm glad to get rid of him finally, because, man, I'm tired of listening to him. Goodbye, good riddance. Hopefully we don't see you anymore.